Hey everybody, it's Amanda from LHL Organizing again, and this time we are doing episode, I think we're on 5, of going extreme minimalist. So this is another hobbies category. I don't think that address is right anymore, but my bad. This category is electronics. So I was talking to a family friend, and I know her son is getting into electronics, and I did not know, but her husband's an electrical engineer. And I have had these electronic components for quite a while, to the point where they're borderline going to be obsolete, if not already obsolete. So it's time to pass them on, really. But what I want to look at is the whole kit related to everything. How much am I going to pass on? So I have a repair project that involves wiring, and so I know some of the pieces are in here. But I'm just going to unpack the thing for you, see what all we have. And I know the camera is just not able to see everything, which sucks because it's either me or the camera. I'd rather do this standing. Maybe we can push it back. How does that sound? Push it back. Hopefully you can see. So we've got a soldering kit here. This is just the box. Here's the actual multimeter. And this is a kit of specialized stuff I was building up for one particular project. This is the connection cable and the breadboard, plus the Arduino itself, which apparently is coming loose a little bit. And the power supply is about the only thing hooked up right now. I don't know why we're running a simple cord setup. And I think every once in a while these components have shown up randomly in places, and so we might have to do like a sweep through the office and make sure we found all the individual wires. Then we have these relays that I made. I really think the term is relay, but I'm brain dead right now. So they are boxes designed, outlet boxes, as you can see, designed to plug into the wall, giving you that 110 power supply while controlling from essentially a 5-volt little breadboard like that, the Arduino. And so these have all the power and ground cables off of the wires that then would have to be wired into the breadboard. But these are for this specific project. Now this actually belongs to the kit, which we're going to pull out shortly. But this is project specific, where I have made and tested that. And they are non-GFCI outlets now, because that was causing me issues. Turns out GFCI to GFCI means trip breaker all day, every day. So that was not what we wanted. And then I have spools of large amounts of wire. Those were custom for the project as well, but obviously can be used in any way, shape, or form. This is the kit. So we're going to drop the box for now. So this Arduino kit comes with, gosh, I hope it can still work. It comes with a booklet that runs through a bunch of different practices, exercises on understanding electronics, as well as some kind of basic physics with electronics. It also is programmed in JavaScript. I believe JavaScript, not just Java. Yeah, I think so, JavaScript. And then, so they have code that goes with each of them so that you can you load the program onto the Arduino and then you can unplug it. Actually, no, you can't unplug it. It has to power through the computer. So you kind of disconnect it in the software from the computer, but you still power it through the computer. So it pretty much has to stay hooked up to a computer all the time. I do think in the project it showed you, in this project, there was a way to power it separately. So, because yes, these wires are not actually I didn't get very far in that project, but I'm pretty sure the wires are there to control the outlet as a whole, not to send power to the Arduino. But again, I started this 2016, 2017, I don't know, around there, 2016 probably. And I just was so overwhelmed with work that I didn't have a lot of spare time. I have some components from work too in here, kind of rando stuff. Which may or may not be broken, who knows. And then we have these variety of kits. So part of the reason the board can't fit back in there is that it was separated. This is the breadboard. And the jumper wires, which I think are just these two. And then the actual controller, this is different. This is a display board. I don't know, most of the stuff is, I think, still here. Like we may have lost one or two little, yeah, that's a display. One or two little, wow, those are long. We may have lost one or two of the small little cables because there are tons of them. That's a different, oh, that's a battery pack. Okay, so we can control it via battery pack too. But yeah, there's a ton of wires, but littler than this, and those are mostly the things that I've lost. There's a couple of resistors in here. There should be several that are still taped together. And then there's these rando wires kind of all over the place that just spill out, and it's hard to keep them contained. The kit also, here's an example of one of the itty bitty wires. It looks like a staple, basically. It's so small. So then we have switches, which are these little doodads. A little button, because I know you want to see, right? So most of these are in pretty good shape. They could have aged and just lost their ability to work, so hopefully they're still functional, which is one of the reasons why it was easier to let go of this, because I know somebody right now who can enjoy it, who's really getting into the sciences, and oh, a motor, right. Oh, and even more of these cables. And that's a photodiode. I think it actually belongs in the other kit, but we're gonna let that be for now. All kinds of random stuff here. All these little tiny pieces. I did a couple of the projects myself, but then I stopped fairly quickly. That's weird. So anyway, we're gonna have to figure out how to get all this back in now. So yeah, as I was saying, I have decided it's a little easier for me now to let this go, even though I think the kit might have been over $200, probably $300. Not really sure. It could be as low as 170-ish. Quite a while ago, obviously. But I mean, it wasn't a super cheap thing either. So letting it go has been a little hard to do, because replacing all of this essentially means I have to buy a whole new kit again if I wanted to restart anything. I think we'll go ahead and leave these in here, even though they might not work. And then I don't remember how this fits in there. It's kind of destroyed already. Like that? Yeah, that's probably it. And then the book's over here. So the board is not going to go back in. The cable I probably could get back in, but this will help me remind me that they all go together. So these pieces were all part of the kit, and my plan is to give the kit to this friend. And hopefully they'll get the $300 of use out of it that I did not get. And then we come into the special project. I mentioned this to her. I don't know if they're gonna let their kid this young solder. That's the next trick, right? That kit is a breadboard. It's designed for no hard soldering at all. This project is likely going to require, I may have done the only part that actually required soldering though. Because these cables, which I'd rather keep the cable ties, but these cables, that all had to be soldered. It was a special a special circuit board and relay kit. Okay, so I'm not sure how much soldering will be involved in this, in which case that's where all of this kind of comes up, because the rest of this is a little more. So the whole packing slip of everything that was involved is here. This was the relay diagram. And I still have another relay kit. I don't remember. I kind of think that we just need 1, 2, and 1, 3. Not positive, but basically this section here, which you probably can't see, this section here is the relay, which we've done. This is what I need for my repair project. So it's going to be a shrinkable wire cover. I'm going to need that plus a heat gun, which isn't even in here. I'm borrowing that from my sister. And wire cutters and the soldering probably. I mean, ideally I would solder it and then weld that back together, not just wrapping it. So I have a lot of those. I can't imagine the different sizes. Okay, these are kind of big ones and those are little ones. And honestly, if I had a big wire damaged, I don't know that I would trust a soldered together job. So these bigger ones, I think we're gonna leave for the project. I'm gonna take 1 pack of the small ones, because I think essentially these are just waterproof for the wall, right? It's gonna control a pump and a light. That's why there's 2 of these. When the pump comes on, then it's flooding the system. Some of the wires are meant to be exposed. They use nails on the end. Looks like I maybe pitched that mess, because I actually did have all of those wires. That's what the extra long was for. I had them all, I think, already soldered to the nails. So I don't know if I'm going to stumble upon that later or if I actually got rid of that when I got rid of the rest of the wall project. I say the rest. I got rid of the big pieces. So I had foam and I had a wiring kit. And I can't imagine that anybody that took those would have wanted the wires on nails. So I might still have that around somewhere. We might have to do a sweep of the house. And then I have this lovely guy. This is another expensive piece. This is the wireless communicator, an XB. So that's what was supposed to communicate it was doing one specific component, I think, the watering or the lights. Might have been the lights. And then we have lots of photodiodes. What is this one? Oh, this one's temperature. Okay. Oh, this is the XB. I'm sorry. This is the expensive part. That's just the wireless communicator deal, but this is the brain, I think. XB is a whole system. So this is an add-on for the Android called the XB Shield. And I think this is what was supposed to do the water sensing with all those nails, because there's a ton of wires coming in. So yeah, it's supposed to have some capability that the Arduino did not have, but I don't really remember off the bat what that was. I'm looking at it, it's not giving it away to me, so I'm not sure about that. And unfortunately, I was hoping I had instructions on the whole project in here. I might have to look those up for them so they can actually finish the project as it was intended. But all the supplies are here. We have the diodes, we have LED lights, resistors, and there's photodiodes. Where are the photodiodes here? I know I'm talking a bunch of gibberish. This is not a photodiode though. It is a diode. Where are they? And this one was, where the I don't even know how to say this word. Thermistor? These are just resistors of very specific measurements. I'm not seeing the photodiodes. That's more resistors, the little itty bitties. And this is a diode, but it is not the photodiode. Oh, these look like it. Yeah, here's the photodiodes. Okay. They have a little squiggly on the top, kind of like what you'd imagine a solar panel to have. I've got to get my face out of here. So just kind of a little squiggly, and that's registering light to help measure how much light the plant's getting. So this is a rather sophisticated build if they were to actually follow through with it. But by no means do I have everything for the system, right? I have none of the plumbing, I have none of the physical structure. This is just none of the piping. It's all just the electronic components and a little bit of the heat shield stuff, the heat shrink tubing protector stuff. So this is a little problematic. To me, it looks like this part of the project does not require any, what do I want to call that? Any, not instruction, does not require any soldering. So, but to finish the project, it will, because those nails, they need soldered. And I could keep wires, but what's the point if we're not doing electronics? So the wires might as well go with it too. And then, do we even need a multimeter anymore? But what are the odds they have one? I'm guessing they would have a multimeter. This is not very expensive. I'm pretty sure you can get a multimeter reasonably priced. All this stuff is Radio Shack though, and Radio Shack is dead. So I don't even know exactly where I'd have to go to replace this stuff. Okay, so here's the soldering kit. And I do think I'm gonna have to solder one more time to finish repairing this project. So it's the whole set. I don't remember what this is. Is that weird? So we have nippers. We have not very much soldering. Yeah, not a whole lot of that left. I think, is this non-lead? Where is this lead solder? Contains lead. Okay, so that one is lead solder. Then we have several tips. It kind of seems like I'd ruined one, but maybe not entirely. And then all of these little tools that help you kind of clean up after yourself. I honestly don't know what this is. I don't know what that would be used for at all. It's not coming to mind. I don't think I've used it. So what is this? This is another tip? No. Ah. Okay. Well, it seems like these are designed to go together, but I don't know. I still don't know what that does, so not a big concern. It looks like here is the soldering iron itself. Power supply. Not sure why that doesn't want to go. Oh, it should face me. Duh. Okay, whatever. It doesn't go very far down, but... And then a magnifying glass with little clamp holder things to help you hold everything in place while you're soldering and give you better vision. And then this is solder. Is it rosin core? Contains unknown chemicals. What? California, birth defects, blah, blah, blah. Yes, but does it have lead? Yes, it does. Okay, so more lead solder. Pretty low gauge, easy to work with. We got the little foam pad. So this is hazardous. There's another little wire, escape artist. Okay, we're just gonna push that through the slot. And then I don't know, the solder did not come in that, but this is the kit for the Make It kit. So, yeah, besides my one rewiring project, which is somebody cutting my Christmas lights, it's possible to shovel cut it, but it is like pristinely cut. Besides that, I think I am really willing to let it all go. I enjoy soldering, but again, if I don't work with the electronics, there's really no reason to solder. It is hazardous. Yeah, I think it's all gonna go. I just need to look for these random wires attached to nails and see if I have them somewhere. And then all of this is gonna go to the same person and their kid to, yeah, see if they enjoy electronics, right? I think so far they are, but they're using a different system. So Arduino is going to be a little different and the coding might be unique to this. Because I don't know how familiar you guys are with programming and electronics, but like Lego Mindstorms uses a graphic programming interface. Several other platforms do the same thing. So here, with Arduino, it's using JavaScript purely. So there's no visible interface whatsoever. It is just pure code. So it is kind of a step up from like Lego Mindstorms and other types of products in that way anyway. So hopefully it's not too obsolete at this point. Let's see what they say much about the Arduino itself. Because I think there were versions of it. USB, Windows XP or better. I think XP was gone before I even bought it, but they're just fairly compatible. It also does Mac OS 10.5 or better and Linux, and I think 10.5 has been quite a while ago too. So it should be very compatible, and I think they just go online and download the program, the interface program. What just fell? So yeah, there goes another entire category of my belongings, I guess, my hobbies, my old hobbies. I'm just gonna keep these little things to finish this one project. Actually, I will keep this stuff, finish the dang project, and then it all goes. So we're just gonna do that. How long has it been? Do you wanna stick around? Maybe we'll just complete it now. I had to go really far away, huh? So I had this solar power Christmas lights thing, and as you can see, it has been sliced in half. So, disappear, focus here. So what I want to do is see if I can reconnect these wires, though there may be no way to tell which one is which. If I'm lucky, that doesn't even matter as long as they're opposite of each other, because this is the terminal product. So it terminates on this light here. So hopefully it doesn't matter which way the current flows through it. I can't really think it would. And this is just a cheapo, like $7 light anyway. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but I figured I might as well try to repair it before giving up. I'm very irritated that somebody even did this in the first place, but so we have to see if we can successfully cut the plastic off. And that's what the shrinky tube is for. You want to thread it on before you do any of the soldering. I'm going to thread it onto the charger side. And what we're going to want to do is see if we can expose the wire. So I want to cut off only the plastic surround. So the one side you can see is thicker than the other. And that's because I cut one of the wires off. Okay, so there we go. We got 2 new ends, and what we're gonna do is solder them each together separately. So I'm gonna pull the others apart, and we're gonna just twist 2 together. So, yeah, that one, I cut more wires again, didn't I? Or does it just not have enough? Seems crazy. Okay. So we're gonna fold some of these away from each other. We're gonna set the 2 that we want to wind together and twist. Now when soldering, you don't really have to twist wires together because you're not really relying on the twist to hold them into place. We're actually going to cover them in the lead solder, which then will make them act as one continuous wire. And so we have to do one at a time. I did a stupid. So I started, see, I got that one side soldered together nicely. There we go, nicely. And then I realized I was gonna need to separate the 2 wires somehow. So I was gonna cut off a little bit of my plastic, well, rubber, whatever thing to put around the one wire between the other. But then I cut the wire in the process of, and I don't suppose you can see that, but I cut the wire in half in the process of trying to do that repair. So yeah, so I completely made the thing worthless. I'm very frustrated. I'm sure you can tell I'm very frustrated. But fundamentally speaking, we would have to cut this down to size and then shrink it down and then resolder on the other side these other wires. Not resolder, but solder again these wires. Not again, duh, that's what resolder means. We would need to solder the other side on the other side of this plastic, hopefully not burning up or melting. And it's rubber, I don't know why I keep calling it plastic, but you know what I mean. And then bring this other coating over. So we do have enough in here to actually patch both spots, but gosh dang it. Part of me wants to be that stubborn. Do we want to do it? Ugh. We're gonna need scissors instead though. Darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it. So, I couldn't figure out all winter long why this side wasn't working. And then come to see when I took it all down that it had been cut off. I don't know. You have to give it time to charge and then cover it up, I think, so that it knows it's nighttime. So we're gonna have to give it some time to charge. But honestly, 30 minutes should be enough. No! Don't turn yourself on! It just must have burnt out any bit of power it had, but it should take a lot longer than that to... Hold it up. Get some light in. It just shouldn't take that much time to get the tiniest bit of energy to supply these pathetic little lights. And I swear, there we go. You see? I don't know what to make of that. That we can get some. Is it working? I'm gonna say yes. I mean, we wouldn't get lights on at all if we didn't. Gotta get really close to absorb enough light. So right now it's apparently on. See how many of them light up. I think they all lit up, so it doesn't look like we have a dead strand in there. So congrats to us. We have completed the project successfully, even though it looked like a disaster at first. We are done, and we can now pass all of this stuff off to our friends and be rid of electronics. So that hobby is going bye-bye. I am gonna keep some of these, and I think I'll check with her to see if she wants the soldering stuff or if they already have soldering stuff. If they have soldering things, I probably will pass it to somebody else. See if there's somebody locally that wants it, I'm not sure. Gosh dang, how many times are we gonna do this?